Okay. Just I'll be before that. Now, once we have seen that the exponential increase in output is being recorded for traveling wave tube, and here it is being found that the RF input which is being applied here, the signal which is being propagating around the helix, which produces an electric field. And whenever the signal which is being propagating around the helix, it produces the electric field here. And due to this electric field which is being produced, and that is been axial. So that is been in axial mode. Whatever the electric field which is being produced here, so it is in axial mode. So due to this, we can calculate what is the velocity of that axial field which is being generated over here. And we have some standard expression to calculate the axial velocity of the field which is being generated through this helical structure. And it is being given by the expression as, so where it is the velocity of axial field. Velocity of axial field. As I've told, whenever the RF input is being applied to this helical structure, due to which some electric field is being produced, and that electric field is being helped to calculate what velocity of this field the wave is being propagating. So that can be calculated by the expression as the velocity of axial field will be equal to pitch of helix. So just now I have told that pitch, what is lunar pitch? I'll be doing it once again, and divided by circumference of helix. Circumference of helix here into the velocity of light. Velocity of light. So this is the expression here to calculate the velocity of axial field which is being produced in the slow wave structure, that is being given by the pitch of the helix to the total circumference of the helix into velocity of light. And normally the expression will be almost equal to the velocity of the axial field is almost equal to, this will be equal to 0.1. The total pitch of the helix and circumference is being almost equal to the velocity that is being 0.1, and this is the velocity of the light. Okay, so this is nothing but the final expression we get the velocity of the axial field with what it is being, the wave is being propagating. Okay, so this is nothing but, as I have told, this is in a pitch. Okay, as I have told that this is in a pitch of at what angle the turn should start. Okay, so that particular angle is being called as pitch of the helix, and the circumference, we know that the wound, the turns, at what turn the total circumference is being taken out. Those two ratios is being taken as 0.1. That is how we can measure the velocity of the axial field. And just coming out with this, the general, already we have discussed about the construction and working operation of this traveling wave tube. Now let me take few differences between the characteristics and the two cavity Klystron amplifiers which we have worked out. So before that, I'll be giving the performance characteristics, in what way it is been different and what are the characteristics it is been very good in case of traveling wave tube. So it is nothing but the performance characteristics. This gives the details of what is the output power, what is in a bandwidth, what is in a operating frequency, what is in a gain can be recorded using this performance characteristics value. So first one, it gives the frequency range. What is the range of frequency at which it can be operated? So it is being given by, it will be operating at 3 gigahertz and above. Above these values, the traveling wave tube can be operated. And second case, it has the bandwidth. What is the bandwidth at which it can operate? And it is being given as, it is been approximately about 0.8 gigahertz. The bandwidth it can operate is been above 0.8 gigahertz. And third, we can give the efficiency. Can any one of you tell me that what is the efficiency of two cavity, theoretical efficiency of two cavity klystron amplifier? I want two cavity and the klystron amplifier. What is the theoretical efficiency? So let me know. You can put it in the chat box, Andy. What is the efficiency of two cavity klystron amplifier and klystron amplifier? Two topics which we have discussed in the third unit will provide two different efficiencies. Let me know theoretical efficiency. I'm getting the answers, Andy, but I want from others too, and more number of answers I need to get. Okay, trying good. Any other answers, Andy? Yes, two cavities separately they are giving it out. Two cavities been separate and klystron amplifier is been separate. I'm waiting for your answers, Andy. Because you should know this. They will be asking for about 2 marks or 3 marks. What are the performance characteristics of two cavity? What it is been about in the klystron amplifier? What about the traveling wave tube? What are the applications and advantages? You should know all about a particular topic. Okay, few has been listed as few are been of 50%. If you have given as 57.3, and few have given as 58%. Yes, and it has been the first case here for two cavity. It is been of some 58.2% is the efficiency, and for klystron amplifier, it is been taken as a 22.7 around the efficiency, and the third one, in the case of two cavity, the efficiency has been from 20 to 40%. What time I'm discussing, it is a theoretical efficiency. 20 to 40% is an efficiency of the two cavity klystron amplifier. And fourth one, the power output, it can be recorded as up to 10 kilowatts. And the output power of this particular two cavity, it is being taken as up to 10 kilowatts. As an average, we can consider. Okay. And the point where the power gain, we can also calculate the power gain. It can be given as, it has been up to 60 dB. The power gain is being given as up to 60 dB. This is the performance characteristics of two cavity klystron amplifiers. And normally, if we take as enough applications, it has been similarly the same applications, but somewhat extra we may consider as a RF amplifier, because we want to amplify the signal. So it is being used as an RF amplifier for the case of the broadband, for broadband receivers. Okay, the broadband receivers means for a satellite communication where we require a more amount of the bandwidth. So for that, to amplify the signals, we require these traveling wave tubes as an RF amplifiers, and it can also be used as a repeater amplifiers. So this is for some communications, whereas various communications we can make use of as repeater amplifiers. So repeater amplifiers is within the sources and within some communication. It is for wide band. So there is some difference in this amplification as a repeater amplifier and RF amplifier, where it has been used for a higher end, it's been of smaller end, and where these are some most of the cases it has been used as for amplifiers only. And coming to the advantages of these two cavity klystron amplifiers, the main advantage here, the bandwidth provided it is using this is been very large. It is a big advantage it has. The traveling wave tube, the bandwidth will be very high, and whereas it has very low noise figure. Okay, noise figure is being very less. Okay, So these are the very good advantages that the traveling wave tube is been providing, where it provides a higher bandwidth and the noise figure is been very less. So interference chances will be very less in case of the two traveling wave tube, so that it results in high amplification. So that's what related to the traveling wave tube. And clearly we can say that some differences we have, one or two difference I will give, and thereby I'll be ending up the class. So I'll be giving one or two differences of Klystron amplifier and traveling wave tube. Okay, taking the differences, where we can see that it is a O type tube, and similarly traveling wave tube is also considered to be an O type tube. So they may ask the differences. So or 2 marks or 3 marks, you should be in ready with to answer this with some small differences. And the second one, with where it uses the cavities. As I said, it uses the cavities for resonant, to maintain the resonant condition. It makes use of the cavities. And here, to make it as a non-resonant, it makes use of slow wave structures. Okay, it makes use of the slow wave structures, so that the non-resonant conditions can be maintained in case of traveling wave tube. And the third point, where we can say that it provides a narrow band. It is said to be a narrow band device, and whereas this can be said that wide band device. Wide band device. So these are the few differences between the Klystron amplifier and traveling wave tube. Okay, and this is all about the traveling wave tube. And so CRs, please send the attendance, take the screenshots. If you have taken already, you can send it to me. So accordingly, the attendance will be given to you, and it is being posted. Which is being given by the CRs, and it was considered from starting from the commencement of the online class work. And these are the details we have. And if they ask some other details, some two cavity also, you can write in a two cavity, and you can give the differences. So whatever the type of amplifier they give, so accordingly you can take it, and the differences can be written over here. So these are all of today's topic. And I hope you have got the understood about this two cavity. This is traveling wave tube amplifier, and why it is being initiated. What are the differences between the earlier and the present one, and what is the constructional features, and what are the operational features, and thereby how the amplification has been taking place. So each and every point we have discussed it clearly. Okay. So still, if you have any doubts, you can put it in the chat box. So already it is been time up. So you can go through this. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the next class, so that it can be get cleared. Okay, fine, Andy. Okay, then next topic will in the next class we'll be discussing about the amplification process, how it takes. We have a small derivation. So thereby we'll be finishing this particular topic. First half of the fourth unit will be finished, Andy. So such a small topic has been there. So that I insist you, please concentrate much more on the last three topics and give enough almost all, so that you can easily come out of this particular subject. Okay, so we have a derivation. We'll see that in the next class. Okay, I'm going to end up the class. Then thank you, Andy.